student general secretary. So where did it all start, and how did it all start, Karthikeya?
Yeah, so well, if you have to get into something like this, first thing that you have to have is experience. With experience comes life learning that you collected on the way throughout the journey, right? So in my first year, when I was looking at the joint secretary elections, which are now termed as the deputy secretaries of every council, are happening. Okay, many of my friends did encourage me to get them because of the interest that I had towards it. But I was very particular to gain the experience from every domain that is possible out there. So the credits that I had from that day was being the core team member in Aksha, then the Aksha club head, then speaking art secretary, and being a deputy culture sec as well as the adjudicator for the 2 consecutive varieties. This being in the cultural domain, and then me being the Petrichor core team, which was during Alina this tenure. Okay, the first Petrichor soon after the COVID, we obviously had many challenges. And see, challenges brought an opportunity for me to learn a lot. Okay, so that is one thing that I have to also make a note about. And I worked even in IIT in my first year. Okay, the first year to second year transition. Okay, so that was an opportunity that I got to work in academic council, and all of this panning together helped me out to nominate myself for the student and secretary, which is a huge responsibility out there on campus in the students' domain that they can participate.
So most of the credentials that you mentioned, most of them had to do with the cultural sector.
Yes.
So why didn't you run for cultural sec?
Okay, so see, what happens in cultural domain specifically is the main point, the main entry way that I have entered into culturals was the speaking area, the speaking arts. So that helped me to learn public speaking a lot. That helped me to learn, gain confidence to speak out there in public and take any decisions, in a more dynamic fashion in front of a large population out there. So that was the skill. Okay, see, I see skill and management as 2 different things. Okay, so if you're just stuck in skill set, okay, what you have to always do is you have to still just pass it on to the next generation, and you still have to work it out. Okay, but managing just like you might have to leave your skill aside and get into a position where you have to look over a team, you have to look over a contingent, and finally you might have to look over the whole council, the cultural council. So cultural council has groomed me, I do agree, but it has groomed me with the manager, most of manager skills than the skill set that I had when I started in that spearhead. So that is the reason why. So I see this culture, the credentials that I had are more helping me to become an administrator rather than a debater or rather than a professional speaker. Now we get that right. So if I would have continued in Akshar, maybe I would have been a good anchor like you. Maybe I would have been a good anchor who would be opted by some secretary for any event that we have on institute. But I'm not a professional speaker after my first year, right? I just use it as one of my skill that I have, and later develop a lot more. So yeah, I hope it explains.
Okay. So from what you said, it sounded like even from your first year, you were focusing a lot on improving your resume or working towards becoming general secretary, basically. So do you think you balanced that with your academics, or was that a separate thing you had to focus on?
I have balanced that decently enough. Okay, so an IITian holding a minimum decent CGPA is already taken care from my end. Okay, but I do agree that I should also have done it in a to a better extent. Okay, I could have done it, but the unfortunate thing is I found that my branch is not my cup of tea. Eventually, I realized that post first year. Okay, so I hated it in the second year, but I have to continue. See, one can get a promotion to CC, but they can't demote themselves to some other branches like circular or civil or mechanical. But it didn't interest me enough, but I have managed decently. And this goal of becoming student and secretary at all times was just the bottom layer of the whole intent that I had. Okay, see, it's not always about your goal. Okay, it's about how much you earn, how much you compile together on the whole journey, right? So if I was a deputy culture, I was dedicating the best that I can. There was a point where when this club heads and me and Ayush, the cultural affairs secretary, were together, I used to act more as a cultural person. It used to be like more like two cultural secretaries than a cultural and deputy. So like I took an opportunity of every possible position that I had to exercise a lot to have a better rehearsal for what I'm aiming in the future. Okay, and it like my goal doesn't even stop with this student and secretary. I have something big for my life. Okay, this is a rehearsal for something great ahead. Okay, so every step that I'm in is not the final one. So the SGS or the student experience is not the final one. What I aim for, it keeps on improving as you achieve something big.
Okay, everything needs a first step. So if we go back in time and let's go to MTCs, meet the candidate.
Okay.
So how were you at that time? We have seen many memes on you. So how did you feel?
Yeah, so something. I was not emotionally balanced until my grade 8, 9, 10 as well, even to a certain extent in my 11th. Okay. So, what I've learned was this emotional quotient is one key thing that a person should properly maintain. Okay. So, I was a guy who is always depressed if something is against me bad. But once I've been socialized into a sphere like this, a space like this, so what I've learned was, world is at times brutal to you, at times good to you, at times it acts as the situation demands. Okay, so elections are there, drama and politics will obviously be there. There will be an opponent, and they do have supporters, and they do run some meme pages. Okay, it is an obvious tactic. Now at that point, my momentum was just this. This will happen in a world like this. This will surely happen, and I was more focused on so let's take some criticism. This is the spice that you will have. But at some end of the heart, I used to have this. I mean, like, this is not correct. This is not ethical. But something like what I've realized eventually after becoming a secretary, and now 9 months ago, almost passed. The point that I've realized is, yes, that was required. Without that, you are not a stronger person today. Right? See, today, maybe not everyone on campus, I mean, out of 1356, at least there will be 100, 200 students who are not happy with the initiatives that I'm taking or the way that I'm working with. If I have to face criticism, it is not a new thing to me, right? If I have to face something very bluntly on my face, it's not a new thing to me. I have already been stronger, right? And something like if I'm suggesting for the next secretaries, let it be in any sphere, any domain, or any council, you have to face that. You have to go through that, and if you're successful in that, you will surely be more successful for all the problems ahead in the future. Okay, so that is just a rehearsal. So, for me, life is just about gaining an experience today and using it for tomorrow. Okay, so, in the initial days, I didn't agree with what was happening, but now I feel what happened was actually good. And that made me a strong person. And thanks to the ones who had did that, okay, because I didn't have time to do it on my own, but few of them had to do it on me. But I'm happy about it.
So, what is your reaction on the result day?
Everyone on my side were pretty confident that it was a one-sided election. Even the exit polls on Instagram has shown a clear majority of me winning it. But I never believed it. I mean, my continuous effort was always there. I just doubted because, I was skipping many things. My academics, my personal time, my family time, and investing a lot in this. So I had to utilize every minute, every second properly. I had to roam. I literally roam to every PhD scholar's desk. Okay, almost 300 to 400 PhD scholars spread across all the campus. I mean, Neela, Sahyadri, and RST. This building, APJ block. I used to go to every cabin and every desk of every scholar, silently explaining the manifesto, and then come back. And this happened for 3 times a week. If in the Apple Fitness app, I've just reviewed it a month ago. March 2024, it had a daily average of 6.8 kilometers per day. Okay, so that 1 week just before election, the minimal was 12 kilometers per day and the maximum was 18 kilometers per day. I was roaming around the campus that badly just for campaigning. So I have invested my blood and sweat day and night. Okay, I literally used to sleep something around 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. in the morning. I didn't have a very big technical team who can run the whole social media campaign for me. Okay, but yeah, I wouldn't did that. Okay, see, I had very good supporters who are working for me on grounds. But the posters that were made were majorly made by me. The social media marketing done was by me. See, my opponent had a team who used to send a personal message to everyone on WhatsApp. I couldn't do that. Okay, I used to manage that. I used to manage my posters. I used to, literally do everything by, like, all the technicalities were on to me. But I had a dedicated supporters from my juniors, from my batch, from my seniors, who literally work day and night with me equivalently, roaming around campuses, but they have shared the work. I have to actually be very thankful for them. But it was really tough time back then. And was like, could you end that question probably? Like,
yeah. So the result day.
Result day. Yeah. So after all this, I was not believing that I'll surely win. So we were sitting in the counting room. We'll be waiting for the result on a big board like this. All of the secretaries and student and secretaries result will be delayed until the last. Okay. Out of the 8 questions there, I have to wait till the end. Okay. And the last but one, Samuel sir was looking at the result from the back end team, and he just messaged on my phone on the WhatsApp, congratulations, you're back. I was like, really? Cool. Okay, and I still remember that me and Akash came. We were going from this campus to Counting to Leela, and we were catching our hands in this file. Okay, I had tears in my eyes. He had tears in my eyes, and we were promising each other that we will never be unaccountable, or we will never back off from this position because we have put a lot of effort to come here. Okay? And God, at least for this last, wish, please help us win this. Okay. And I was never, 3 times before the election, I had a dream that I'll be losing. And I had the next 24 hours on how I would be if I'll be losing this election. Okay. And every time I wake up from that sleep, I used to have this impression. If a dream comes that way, will you be very confident that you'll be winning the election? No. Right. So, yeah, I come from a family where my parents are teachers. Okay. They're like, they work hard every day to earn and eat on how we are living today. Okay. And everything of this sort is an extracurricular activity beyond the limits that we are doing. So, even they were afraid what happens if I lose. About my mental state, about my career, or the motivation of the confidence that I have. But when Sam said messaged me, just like, okay, maybe I've achieved this 51 to 52 percentage, and maybe my opponent has just lost by 1 or 2 percentage of the total vote. But when I've seen the magic figure on the screen, I was just literally, half of the excitement was already, but it was way bigger than what I've experienced a couple of minutes ago, because the magic figure that I expected was something around 500 out of 950-ish. Okay. But it was 628. The most unexpected thing that happened. So, yeah. It was a huge success, and all of that is dedicated to all of them who have put their efforts in, who have dropped in their prayers for days. Right. So it was not my own success. It was just a collective one, and it was really unexpected. Really unexpected. None of them had, everyone had that impression that I'll be winning, but not with that huge majority. I didn't believe that I'll get any vote which is greater than 500. It was just surprise.
Is that why you think you won the election? Because you were able to campaign so much and reach so many people?
Obviously, yes. That helped me a lot, because after assessing, there are many factors or parameters that people were taking into consideration. Calling ethnicity, calling that, this and that, batch, region, okay. But if all of the factors had played a key role, the 628 figure would not have been possible. If I have if I would have depended only on the comfortable figures that I can, my count would have been something around 520 at max. 628 was possible because even the ones who I didn't believe that they'll trust me have trusted me. So it was just because of the groundwork that we have done, the way we have approached people, the way we have explained everything to them, that itself has added a lot. And even the MTC, of course, even the MTC, the momentum that you have in MTC, or the way you deliver something, or the way you receive some criticism in MTC, has added up a lot in flipping the numbers from one end, which was not at all mine, to all mine.
Do you have a better candidate in mind for your post? If not you, then who?
Okay. See, the point is, there are many people. I mean, like, yeah, I do see few people who can also do better in it, but a few didn't contest in the selection because they had few issues at their back end, or they had different career aspirations. See, it is not about I would back off if they are in. See, even now I do credit Fatima that she's eligible for this, but it's unfortunate that we had a lot of differences in experience. We had maybe the way campaign has run. Okay, so the approach, the way we have approached people. Okay, yeah, like there are few set of candidates who are also eligible, but like everyone's idea is unique. I mean, for me, my idea is obviously unique. My perspective is obviously unique. So it is always about me and like how I can contribute in a more better way than others is what I look at. So if you're in a team, you obviously have this competitive spirit among yourselves, right? So what can be the best efficient result that you can dedicate for the outcome, right? So looking in that perspective, yeah, I will surely credit that I am the right candidate. But yeah, there will always be some team players, okay, who are always better, but it depends upon the situation or the scenario, how you compete with them. Okay, that is where only one comes out to be the winner, and the rest of them have to accept the fact. It doesn't mean that they're lost in everything, right? They can still contribute to whatever they can. Still, Fatima is doing so in as a CDC coordinator, right? I still work with her closely in CDC, so like she's also dropping in her efforts as far as she can.
So you have become the student general secretary, and the first mail we got was no PDA. What do you have?
See, there is a perspective that none of the common public sphere can understand. Okay, but the point is, if there is a system, the pressure on the system is from every direction, top down, front, back, left and right. You get pressure from every direction. You have to come out with a diplomatic solution which will balance out everything. See, the main intent was there were few people who were actually unarmed. Okay, there were few people who were making a ruckus out of it. I mean, they were capturing the PDA that was happening on campus, which is not ethically right. Right? It is not ethically right. So, what I have done was, it was just a caution me. Okay, for the ones who are involved in it, so that you just be careful. See, it was a one sentence mail. There was no full stop in the whole mail. Okay, so you need to have a lot of patience in understanding that mail. Okay, it was just like a warning or a caution that someone is watching you. Someone is actually making shit out of what you're doing. Okay, see, it is not like shit. Okay, but someone is mocking you unintentionally. Okay, so it is a kind of warning for them to be careful. At first, and see, I can't directly want that your videos are there here, like people are mocking or people are using them to feel pleasure or like, share it on the WhatsApp groups and be the netizens and troll you. Okay, so it was a very formal way of addressing the concern. Just be careful from everyone. So this will also restrict some people who are actually recording it, some people who are actually making fun out of it, right? So it was the diplomatic solution that I had. Okay, and see, post that mail, I had two types of people calling me. One were the ones who are the victims of it. They're just calling me, if our videos are, please delete it. Okay, see, that was a genuine concern, and I did mail it out for people like them not to become victims of their actions. First, second thing, there were few people who did appreciate. I mean, like few people feel a bit annoyed, but they are unable to report it to someone because they don't know like if it is ethically right or wrong. Okay, so yeah, there are two sets of people. I feel that I have done the best that I can of that day. Okay, I'm just fed up with what was happening. I mean, I'm not against the ones who are performing the actions. Neither I'm against the other side. Okay, so it is just like a bridge solution between both of these parties.
So just to clarify, you do agree that the ones who are recording were the ones doing the unethical part, but then your solution was to send out a mail basically telling the victims to stop doing what they're...
See, the point is, I cannot say that people are recording, so be careful. But I can still say that be careful, okay, because you are annoyed. there is a subtle difference between these two. Okay, recording see, if you're there, you can say that this recording is recorded just because I felt this a bit awkward and annoyed on this campus. I'm not showing it to you. But she might make this a funny thing within her room or within her WhatsApp group. So we can't justify or we can't judge a person if he is coming with a genuine intention or not. So you have to find a balance among this set of people. So that is the reason why it was a generalized announcement or a generalized mail that I've sent.
Okay. Moving forward, so your tenure is going on, and then you had one of your secretaries resign. How did it feel?
Okay, how did it feel?
How did you manage getting another secretary and then the whole thing?
Okay, see, it was this summer when all of our interns were going on. We were transitioning from third year to fourth year. Prabhat Suresh, the technical affairs secretary, the former technical affairs secretary, who was inducted along with us. Okay, had two reasons because of his personal reasons. Okay, like at the initial day when he was supposed to with his resignation, I did report it to Sahyadri also, and we did give him the initial phase of counseling, even with the Mitra team that we have. I spoke to him every single day, explaining what would be the consequences. Not consequences in terms of formality. I did explain how would he feel once he loses, like he is out of this. Okay, so it is always not the same perspective that you have or the same place that you have. He might regret it some fine day in the near future, right? So I explained all the possibilities of it. He then continued for a few more days, and after a month, then the time was arrived, and he had to literally plug off. Even his family was not okay with what was going on. Okay, then when if one of my secretaries in such pathetic state, I should also act in the better version that I can, the better way that I can. So I did ask him, like, it is upon you, whatever you want to do, you can. I'll be respecting that. So he has sent a resignation, and later the deputy of that council, Tirumala, has taken care of council along with the club heads and the other deputy for a month or so. Until then, I was the acting secretary, and later we have announced the election. We have a single candidate, and he has become the technical affairs secretary. So that is it.
Okay. What is your relation like with the current secretaries?
Cool. So relation, can you still elaborate it a bit?
As in, how well do you work with them?
So in terms of work, I'm never going to compromise on the level or the quality on what I work. So in the first day when we met after the SAC dinner, the first thing that I instructed them, they have said, we are the first representatives of the whole student body, and if something is wrong out there, I might call out for a meeting 3 a.m. in the morning or at any random time. Okay, right? And you should always be available. And my secretaries are habituated with 3 a.m. in the morning meetings. Okay, long over the night meetings with me throughout the holidays, and they have adopted the working culture that I have proposed. And we have exchanged. Even I have adopted this. Okay, so all of us do work in hand in hand fashion. Okay, and I also urge all of my fellow councils to work in the same way. There will be few ruptures or some sort of friction here and there, but at the end of the day, it is my responsibility to make sure that nothing of that sort happens. And at this SAC and my team, we are working as efficient as possible, and we do work as a family, right? So that is my relationship or the relationship between secretaries amongst.
So, coming to the family, is Karthikeya a family man? Does he give time to family or totally into his position?
Actually, I was a good family man back then. Before I took up this election or nominating myself. I still try to be the most dedicated family man towards the family. A better son or a better brother to my sister or a better grandson to my grandparents or whatsoever. Okay, but like every leader or every administrator or any CEO says, I do leave everything in my office and then go back to home as whom I am at home, right? I have to still get that mindset. I will have to still adopt that culture. I have not been successful in that because I regret doing this. At times I prioritize I regret saying this, but I prioritize Gen Z activities more than friends, more than family. And, it is not supposed to be there. See, you have to balance it, but I didn't achieve that level of balancing nature that one should. Okay, so like being more dedicated to one thing is also not a good trait. Okay, so this has already been suggested by my superiors and my fellow colleagues, but like I have to get that adopted some other way. I'm trying for it. I'm trying to take frequent breaks and go to home, spend some time with family. But I'm still not satisfied completely. Okay, and I have to also appreciate my families and my friends who are like understanding that he's busy for something really great. Okay, and we have to respect it. Okay, at times I might not call my family for a couple of days, sometimes 3. To my friends, like I'll just say I'm busy with this. At times they even cancel the trip just because of my election, just because of my meetings, just because of my events like the institute day that we have the next week. And every single time I have a lot of respect for these people, who will give the same, who will understand in a better way that how I expect them to be. And at times that support really matters a lot, like administrators like us. Okay, without that, nothing of this is possible. But something should also be given back to them. We'll try our best to give it back, but at times we are doing it, at times we're not. So
We hope that you do give.
yeah, I hope so. I will. If I'm not hearing any complaint from them, is not just sufficient. It should be my satisfaction. Back then, if I was able to give a dedicated 2 hour slot per day, to spend time with my friends or talk to my family, now it is just hardly half an hour per day. So it is very weird, but yeah, I am engaged, but they are missing me out. Right. But the good part is their understanding, their level of understanding, their level of maturity on what I'm out there for is really great. I have to appreciate it. Even this meeting, I've cut few calls just before meeting saying that I'll be only taking the call after 2 p.m. Okay, or I'll be only calling back after 2 p.m. But, all of them said okay. None of them just felt bad for it.
So you do enjoy traveling a lot, right? Do you think travel is a sort of escapism for you from the weight of being Gen Z?
So, for your kind information, the term escapism, never. I might escape in my academics, I might escape in my examinations or my goals that are more related to academics, but nothing related to Gen Z. I won't be lenient or I won't take any chances or I won't compromise on the quality of input I do in this. Okay, because the amount of passion I had to enter into this is really huge. Okay, God will always gift you something for which you have really worked hard, and I'm in that. Okay, so I would never escape. Yeah, but traveling, I do, and I do balance it together. Okay, so I've been to Bombay on my official trip to enter a tech meet in the first week of December. Second week, I just returned back to home to Hyderabad. 24 hours in Hyderabad, not 24 actually, 22 hours in Hyderabad. Then to go for a friend's trip. Even after going there, even my friends just have witnessed that I was still handling something on the campus. I mean, the first years were facing the fee reimbursement issues, fee payment issues. Okay, there were a few genuine cases that I have to handle. I was handling it from home. Came back to home, 24 hours exactly in home, and then back to Chennai. Okay, with pneumonia and viral pneumonia and this lung infection. Even in Chennai, I met RAs in IIT Madras, few other delegates in IIT Madras, and then roamed around in Tamil Nadu. So I just at times I didn't do my BTP project work that was given to me in the month of vacation. I didn't do it. I did just a couple of days ago before coming to college, and it was not up to the mark. All my Gen Z activities were beyond the mark that I expected. Traveling is just kind of a therapy for me. I enjoy a lot, and I've adopted it as a hobby after exploring this world. In BTech, I had good companions to travel back then in the second year, and then I found that even self travel is looking really great with me. And yeah, so now if I just find a couple of days of holiday, just zoom out the map and where to go. This was very weird. I was in Trichy. We zoomed out the map. We pinpointed the nearest coastal beach that we had, Nagapattinam. Okay, it is not a very big town, not just like in Palakkad. Drove to Nagapattinam in one night. To and fro was 400 kilometers. Drove one. I drove by myself. I had few friends accompanying me all over the night. Okay, so it is just like Tanjore and Nagapattinam was covered in one night. So I won't compromise on that, and the purpose of me going to Trichy was also properly served. So both of them will be balanced.
So, okay, if we come back again to your general secretary role.
Okay.
So, how is your rapport with the faculty?
I'm very happy that on the day of my vote taking ceremony, the faculty of CS department, Karthikeya ma'am was my faculty during my second year. Okay, like she was terror. I mean, if she was entering the class, I used to just get afraid a lot. I was just ticking on my mark, counting on my marks if I would have passed this test 1, test 2, and so. Like she knows, even she was my classmate. Okay, the same Karthikeya ma'am was like, we were working together right from the day of voting ceremony for the convocation attire. Okay, the way that we had the freedom to interact, the way she was, trusting me on some things, on what I'm supposed to do, and the way she was giving lenience to me, and maybe in terms of working with her. Okay, I was completely like astonished with that. I mean, like I was saying it out proudly to all my friends. Karthikeya ma'am is terror for you, but for me, she's my friend. No, today we are going to Coimbatore. Today we are going to Palakkad to go out and check out on this kurtas cloth that we are planning to bring. No, I'm going in Karthikeya ma'am's car. Okay, like Karthikeya ma'am messaged me this morning. So the rapport that I had after becoming minister with faculties, many of them, let it be my HOD Dr. Darishetty. In my life, I was very good at academics, but for the very first time, I failed in the operating systems course, which was just before the election. Okay, and this nature. Okay, this is off the question, but anyways, externally. Okay, so what I believe is it's not all about code, it's about nature. Okay, so every time if you fail in a course in an odd semester, okay, you have to take the examination of supplementary after the even semester completes in the month after the summer. Okay, but luckily that time it was conducted in winter, so that I could complete that F grade. I mean the U grade in that course. I could overcome that. And later, in the month of March, I could actually nominate myself as student. Otherwise, I would have lost eligibility to nominate myself. Okay. That was one thing. So, that was the lowest point. I mean, I've never expected that nature would help me a lot in that way. Also, December ma'am didn't do it intentionally. It was my fault. And like me being in that situation was really blessed. I mean, like I've seen the low before the most highest point in my life, right? And after this preface, you would have gotten an obvious, clarity on how my bond with Darishetty ma'am is. Though she is like a friendly faculty, I would always be afraid of her. I would always escape from facing her in the corridors or maybe in labs. But like the day I won, and then I've invited her to come to the vote taking ceremony. I was really proud that day because she came up 5 minutes late to the voting ceremony. She missed out mine, but she stayed till the very last moment. All the secretaries is completed, all the formalities were done, and the last she came and she congratulated me and she said sorry for being late, but I've tried to come. I really respect that. I really admire that she's given her time out, her valuable time out, being the HOD of a CEC department at IIT, coming to my voting ceremony. And the one who, I had a sort of terrible impression from my end. Okay, though she was good. Okay, I was always afraid. So every faculty bond usually change. Deepak sir being the dean students, being my faculty in the PMA in the last semester was one more blessed thing. If I was not in class, sir would always ask the fellow secretary or anyone, where is Karthikeya? That extra care always comes in. Okay, the extra, effort from their end to look about my whereabouts. How am I? One fine day when I had second informed that Karthikeya is sick, so he's not coming to class. He did inquire on how am I recovering in the same evening. the very next morning. Okay, so I'm happy about all of this. Right, so, well,
Not only with the faculty, we heard that Karthikeya also have nice rapport with girls.
yeah, that do exist. Right, like,
So-
it always exists.
Okay.
It need not be a genset for that. It's Karthikeya's suffering.
So, is there someone in Karthikeya's life?
And I have a lot of friends.
Okay.
I see. I get your question, but no, none of them are still. I'm not as Karthik during his retirement ceremony, he was confident enough to say that the amount of love that I have for my family, my girlfriend, and all of them is equal, but they can fight on whatever weightage they can. Okay, so he was able to confidently say that I had it. Even my academic affairs secretary, he literally said it in at least that I balanced all of this alongside with my relationship. But I'm not balancing any relationship because I'm happy this way. Like I have no time in my day to give some time to someone else. Nothing else in my life.
So that's a choice.
Nah, it's still a choice. I didn't opt for it. I hopefully will not do that because my parents won't be okay with it.
If we go back again to the MTCs and then see the manifesto. Hopefully, I mean, you have fulfilled many of your manifesto things, but there are few things that we would like to ask. The night canteen at 3 a.m.
Yeah, Srujana. I'll answer it collectively. So if you have planned for 4 or 5 in a row or 10 in a row, the generalized answer would be something. If a person was out there with a manifesto which was like everyone was shocked that none believed that even one of it can be implemented because everything was fancy. The 10% discount was fancy, restarting OBT was fancy, alumni ID card was fancy, right? Vending machine was fancy. Like none of that were in the level of what was happening in the campus. But if a person could design something in that way, and if he can do a majority of it, the other part is not a very big deal. But see, I'm still trying for everything out there. But if there are genuine constraints from the other end, or if there is a genuine reason from the other end, if something is not happening, then even I have to look out for another end, right? So yeah, everything has a valid reason. Everything has a valid reason, and I don't say that I'm done with this. Right, few of them. These coffee vending machine is done. The snacks vending machine is under the process. Okay, and apart from the manifesto, manifesto is a document that you put forth to the public that finding what your vision to this college is. But once you enter, you will eventually realize that there are many other things that you can do. See, this lights. We have lights in the corridor of the hostel. Okay, you have it for every 1 meter and in some colleges for every half meter. If all of them are on throughout the night, it is not a sustainable policy that we are following. It is waste of electricity, and most of the light is falling into the rooms of the students, and there is an obstruction to the sleep. So that was not my manifesto point, but I literally I had actually took the map of every floor, Malahar and Saveri, 4 floors and 4 floors on leaving and leaving, and this multiplied to Saveri hostel. So how much is it? 16 times. So almost 16 floors were covered in one night with the Indian police staff to point which lights are not supposed to be on and which are supposed to be off. The whole night I've taken an effort to do that. See, that is not my manifesto point. So once you get into the system, you will realize that some things are not feasible because of the constraints that you have, but you will try to make them happen somehow the other way. Okay, and you will do many more apart from your manifesto. Okay, so yeah, like I don't think that I'm leaving out something. I'm trying my level best, but something I've achieved a lot more beyond the manifesto. That is very clear. So this might answer the reasons for all of the lineup that you had that have been fulfilled.
Yes, it does. Okay.
How many more of these do you think we can see fulfilled by the end?
See, as of now, roughly 15 are there. Okay. I can practically achieve the target of 20. Okay. 5 of them are tough. It's not just a CM tenure or a PM tenure that I have. And a 4 year or 5 year. I have 1 year. 3 months to understand, 6 months to implement, and 3 months to the rest 3 months are just with the formalities of the next election. But I have been informed by my seniors that if you can achieve at least the 50% mark of this manifesto, you are a successful student and secretary, and you'll be remembered forever. I didn't believe that back then, but yes, it's the reality, right? So if I could do 15 out of 25, and if now I'm predicting that 20 is achievable, or at least 18 or 17 is achievable, then I see that is a decent number. That see, I won't say that I've achieved it completely or successfully completed my manifesto, but there are many things that are not coming into account that you people are considering for the manifesto requirements of me achieving it. Okay, so.
In what ways do you think you have failed as a general?
Something, at times people don't realize that no, it is not their fault, it is my fault. I should have explained them in a better fashion. Let us say OBT. Okay, we are from B24, we are from B21, and the technical team that we have the back end of B22 and B23. Right. So I restarted OBT successfully, but I was unable to restart it for them. They missed it out for the 2 years, right? So I promised it for them, and I could not fulfill their dream that they had during the whole election campaign. You people were able to go and enjoy, and you don't know the pain of it, right? You don't know what the regret of missing it, but they know it, and I could not get it for them. This 4.7 lakh to 5 lakh is the rough budget for one batch, and we can't invest it in one go for 3 batches. So what the administration has finally decided was to have it for every other batch that will be incoming. Right? The 2 batches in between are unfortunate. It is. I feel that I have failed. It was a shown promise to them. But it's really good that many of their batchmates didn't take it as criticism. They have understood it with a lot of maturity. The supporters of mine eventually realized that at least that is restarting, not for us at least, but for their juniors. Okay. But at end of the heart, they do have some pain of missing it out, and I have a lot of regret that they didn't go through that. OBT is really a great experience that one should have in their first year. But unfortunately, that batch of 2022 and 2023 could not have it. Apart from this, I've been doing my duties as per my expectations.
So we had the first ever Pan-IIT Summit.
Yeah.
You'll be meeting all the general secretaries or all IITs. We are the third gen IITs, and there are first gen and second gen. How did you feel talking to them and working and interactions?
Yeah,
How are they?
Pan-IIT Summit was this is the first edition that IIT Madras has hosted it, and the next year IIT Guwahati is hosting it. Okay, so this is a summit where all the student governors of every IIT, the 4 governors, the general secretary, hostel secretary, academic and research affairs secretaries, were called out for a panel discussion on 2 days in IIT Madras. So this is sort of an exchange among the ambassadors or the student governors of the college. See, our directors meet, our placement faculty in charge, placement cell faculty in charge meet for AIPC, and they do exchange the policies they have, the governance structure they have, or the administration that they have at each IIT. But we as student governors, we never had that opportunity. We always have to call our friends who are at some different IIT and ask to give the contact of your secretary so that we want some information for some policy that we wanted to implement here. But this has led has opened the gates for all of us to interact on the same ground. So this was a great opportunity that IIT Madras has initiated. Athira Joshi is the SLC speaker, is the head of the SLC speaker, and it was his idea to do this after he will be elected as a SLC speaker, and the intent that he had was really great. And the idea of the administration has taken it completely onto there, and they have taken care of the whole logistics, accommodation, food, and travel, and we were there just like the ambassadors of a nation. So if an IFS officer has to meet the fellow IFS officers of any other country, they do go in a well-dressed way, well-prepared way on how their country policies work, and they exchange knowledge, transfer ideas, exchange the ideology of the policies that we have, right? So, well, that was a great summit, and that will continue for years, and that should have happened from day before, but it's good that at least it has started from now, and for young IT like us, we will get a lot of insights. Okay, see, we mainly sit here and say that Tier 1 IITs have all facilities. Right. But we do also realize that they do suffer a lot in few areas. But we are actually beneficial in that areas. Let us say, for suppose, our students are not happy with the number of candidates we have on campus, the number of companies that are walking in for placements, or maybe some logistics or some infrastructure issues or some sports equipment that we are lagging a bit as compared to Tier 1 IITs. See, IIT Palakkad will surely be a IIT Madras, Bombay, or Delhi decades down the line, right? But see, currently as of now, what are we good at? We have good hostels, we have good common washrooms, right? In Tier 1 IITs, there are buildings which are from 70s, 80s, 90s, which are just renovated a bit here and there, and they're still the hostels these days. So you won't get that level of lifestyle in hostels that you're getting at IIT Palakkad or maybe any other third gen IIT. So this should be delivered to our students by me or by the secretaries who have come with me. We as leaders are responsible to do that, are bound to do that. But this realization was at least like grasped by us at the Pan-IIT Summit, right? See, our fest Petrichor is blended with the open house. None of the IITs do have it. So few of the IITs have asked, like, that is a very good idea of having open house and Petrichor together. Okay. When I've said that every hostel room has a Wi-Fi router dedicated to that room, okay. No, like one of the IIT, which is I won't take the name, but it was first gen IIT. They took the contact of Biju sir from me and they approached him and asked, how are you managing it well on campus? Right, so we do have some pros, we do have some cons. They do have some pros, they do have some cons. So all of them standing together will sum up the same thing. Okay, but no, everyone looks at what can be improved. That is the reason why we do face criticism. We just look at what is not good, but we are already enjoying the comfort passively or unknowingly of what we have in a better way, right? And everyone does that in Taiwan. So that has been discovered by us in Pan-IIT Summit. A lot of contacts across IITs. Post Pan-IIT Summit, when I've been into inter-IIT, I could see many hands waving at me high level, and like all of us as secretaries, we are not just the part of content, that pride carries, and the network that we build out there will obviously be there out in industry wherever we go, maybe in our career, right? So it was really knowledgeable in all aspects, personally, professionally. Yeah, this was from Pan-IIT.
Right, so taking input from the Pan-IIT Summit, what steps can our institute take in improving our infrastructure and facilities?
Yeah, so it is not a pointer, kind of a point that I can put forward to you people, or it's not just one-page minutes that I have. Okay, 4 panel discussions throughout 2 days, which happen. Each panel discussion happened almost for 3 hours. Okay, and an opening segment and closing segment. So this was a panel discussion that was happening at IIT Madras. So all of the minutes are compiled together, and we have already filtered what can be implemented here, and all of that will be taken to BOS and Senate. After their approvals, yeah, we can exercise on what else can be implemented here. So it's a huge database, and maybe it can't be just said in a 1 hour interview. If a Pan-IIT Summit interview is exclusively taken, also it might not be as sufficient as you people have expected.
Oh, so sure does Pan-IIT help you a lot. So we would like to ask you about your secretaries. What do you think of them? Like, let's have a rapid fire round.
Sure.
One word about each of your secretaries.
Okay.
Okay, let's start with academic affairs. Hemant.
Yeah, he's always supporting.
One word.
One word.
Rapid fire.
Rapid fire.
I only you want only in one word, right?
Yeah, one word about academic affairs secretary.
What is corporate? And
Hostel affairs.
huh?
Hostel.
My financial advisor.
Sports.
Sports. The man who has proved the world wrong.
Too many words.
Yes.
Yeah.
Technical.
Technical secretary. Ups and downs, but they have managed it well.
PG.
Great. So there, I just want to give a preface. There was no PG of the secretary who was taken part in the election, so it was an interview post. I mean, like later, since no candidates were there, we had to interview a person and they have taken him.
Cultural.
Cultural. I can literally write a book on it. But still, my okay, one word. It's crazy about, I guess.
Okay.
Research.
The guardian we have in our SAC. He's married, a lot of experience, age of 30, a lot of life learnings he has. And like we working with him is also something really great. I mean, like we are around 18, 19, 20 and he's around 30. Like, the age difference that we have also was balanced. I mean, that adaptiveness was also there from his side.
Okay. Now.
But he's more like a student than a secretary. He always he always comes to me with issues from like a student, but not as a secretary. Like at times it is good, at times I feel but it is good. I mean, he is actually holding the voice of PhD scholars, right? So it's a good trait that he's having.
Yeah, like that. Do you have any? You want to use this platform right now? So, raise any other suggestions to your secretaries about how they can improve in their.
Okay. Hostel, for God's sake, has no other option. Yeah, I do see him putting in efforts, but maybe the right thing that he does is not seeing the people much. Yeah. And also, his too aggressive to think. I mean, it's a good trait. He's very intensive to solve things, but at times it might not affect him. Okay, so that is one thing. Academic affairs secretary. I have no suggestions because he always cooperates well. I mean, he gives all due respect to me, like in terms of giving a task to me in ISC, trusting me a lot completely. Okay. Maybe in terms of CTC also, he gives me an equal share of power to take a decision. Okay. I have no complaint from academic affairs secretary. He always does something. Comes up with a sorry KB, I'm very sorry, I'm late. He ends up doing something good or something really great. But that phase where he messes up something and comes with this excuse, sorry KB, he just has this one word, sorry KB, sorry KB, sorry KB. I hope that sorry doesn't continue. No, it was not continuing for the last couple of months. Yeah. And sports affairs secretary, is working a lot with his team. I would also suggest him to work at times or outshine at times as a lone leader. And it is also important because you are the head of a council, right? So, yeah, he's doing it good. I mean, I have no complaints with the sports council. Like, he has the most supportive team or the supportive pillars for his deputies or the whole council. Research affairs secretary and PG affairs secretary, they are mostly away from the hectic working schedule we have because they have the minimal work. Also, like they need not involve into a lot of this stuff, and they do have their projects and their academic schedule. It's very hectic and tight there. So I do respect that, but I have no suggestions for any of them. Technical affairs secretary, yeah, he has learned a lot after becoming a secretary. He's my roommate. Right, like we had hard times. Like I'm more sort of a professional person than a personal friend. See, what I do is I will not have my friends around in my sphere where I work because I'm always strict. I always want to have a lenient, like a freedom of at times being strict to them, at times being tough, like rough to them, and to get something good sorted. Okay, so yeah, he's my first one in my life who is my roommate and is my grade. So the initial phase was a bit hard, but now we have eventually coped with and is doing really fine. Did I miss out any secretary? Or is they feel bad about it? Covered?
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, everyone are covered. 7 of them are covered.
Yeah. So, what are the future plans of student general secretary? No, Karthikeya.
Okay, so doing all of this rehearsal just to be a efficient administrator in the future. Okay. Being a public administrator or a business administrator is getting into business administration or a public administration space is still on to the nature. I mean, I'm giving the best that I can now. Okay, so yeah, what God and nature will eventually, push me to is where I have to do the best that I can. So, yeah, maybe MBA or maybe UPSC. I'll take some time to. I'll just attempt both of them and see where my destiny is, and will be there with the same efficiency that I'm currently with, and give the best that I can in that stage. I'm happy with either of them. Yeah, tilted a bit towards public administration because this is more sort of a public administration. We'll see, but I have to accept the fact if something goes wrong as well.
So, as your tenure is coming to end, I mean, within 2 to 3 months, so what advice would you like to give to the next general secretary?
Okay. So
Or who do you think might be the fit?
See, that is the most perfect thing that you can post to me because officially I cannot support anyone, but I can groom everyone. I mean, like Srujana, she is the IIS secretary. I always had this intention of her being the speaking arts club secretary after me, but I could not make it possible. But later, when I had this idea of her getting into some administration, she was always happy with it. She has become the IIS. So I'm always ready to groom people, and I've groomed people for different spheres already. Like now, it is their opportunity. Like the opportunity is open to them. How well they utilize it, how well they ace it, how will they go through this? The pressure of campaigning, the MTC, the meme pages stuff, everything, and the election finally. It is on to them. So they have to go through that and they have to survive, and that is when they own that secretaryship. So yeah, it is just about me. I've already trained few people for different spheres, but they have to prove their worth in the upcoming month of the election phase.
Okay, so you have trained people?
Yeah, I did train. I mean, as a leader, you should have that vision for your college, right?
Yeah.
Like, you can't just leave the space that you have worked. You should just like that, right? So you have to also have a vision that someone should be ready for this after me. Someone should be ready for that after one of my secretary. Yeah, so we do training. So it is just about giving an opportunity to set up people. Okay, let us say now for the entire tech meet, I've taken 2 DCS from P03, but neither Tier 1 or Tier 2 IIT does, nor any Tier 3 IIT does, because they take DCS from 4th year or 3rd year because they have to have a proper command of the proper grip of the whole team to get things done. But the intention of mine was to take in someone from B23, okay, and give them an opportunity to learn what inter-IT is, how the tech council functions, how the product shipments are, and learn more sort of administration, though they don't know what coding is, they don't know what electrical domains work on. Okay, so yeah, we have given it to Rishi and Nilesh, and we are expecting one to be the CL next time. I mean, like, they have gained a lot of knowledge after I am Tirumala pass out. Aryan was already the CL, so we do expect some of them to be the CL. If not, also it's fine. But it is just about giving chance to some eligible people who do well in interviews, so that they get a rehearsal to do the next tougher one in the as a next step.
So, you must have seen all of the sectors under SAC, and you know how much importance is given to each. So, which one do you think gets the most importance now, and which one do you think
I can commit it.
yeah, which one do you think can what do you say, use less resources than it's using right now?
Okay, so see, the major parts is this technical, cultural, and sports. Sports and cultures people are obviously interested to take part in because they sound like more extracurricular. Okay, but the first is and second year should also realize that this tech council is also a sphere where you can actually recreate. Okay, you can find yourself. Go out there to the Stella Society where you can get engaged in looking into the space through a telescope, right? So you explore a lot of astronomy, right? We were in this JE hustle and physics was only introduced to us in one dimension. Right? There is other perspective of looking at physics. There is other perspective of looking at math and integration. So astronomy will give you a flexibility to learn that or explore that. Okay. There are many other clubs that way. See, you do a course in your first year which is related to electronics lab, but you won't find time beyond that to like working on an Arduino board or any other board that you have in electrical department. But take up some electrical project in maybe under robotics or maybe under anything that is related to systems and communication. Okay, so they get an opportunity to explore what their interest is in a more different way than the academic sphere. Okay, so technical council is one sphere where I urge students to recognize, like, realize about that. Even that is an extracurricular thing that you can get into. Okay, you have TFC, I mean the finance club. Okay, the finance club. So there you learn stock market, how stock market works, how trading works. Okay, and like there's a lot that you can learn from that as well. So
Is this an ad?
I know this is not an ad, but this is just about the untapped clubs that students are not looking at in this time. Okay, it's not always about culture. See, cultural council, it gives a lot of recreation. Sports, it gives a lot of mental and physical, fitness to you. But do realize that there is one more something else beyond this as well. Okay, so yeah, I do promote three of them equally, but something is a bit lower, lacking. So I have to pitch it up.
Okay. Speaking of clubs, if you could cut off a few clubs, which one would you choose?
Athira, so if there is a club, if there are any club proposals that comes to you, okay, you have to filter them, refine them, and take the most relevant one to the POS. It will be then considered as a hobby group, and for a 3-month period or 6-month period, it will be a hobby group, and then it will be converted into a club after the activities that it will conduct on campus. Okay, so recognizing as a club is a real tough job. Okay, so it goes through a lot of scrutiny. It goes through a lot of tough phases or hurdles that no one expects to. Okay, so like I have nothing in my mind. I still have something to add. Now I'm actually mentoring this Rubik's Cube club. Okay, there are a few enthusiasts from first year. So now it is a hobby group. In the next few years, I hopefully think that it will be converted as a club. Okay, so other way around, I mean, a leader should not have that perspective of cutting off a club. Okay, making a club more efficient is a better approach than having this cutting off a club. Yeah, I know the question is spicy, but
So just let's say you wanted to rearrange the resources given to clubs.
All of that is always taken care with utmost what do you call it? Research and whatever can be given to them. So it will go through a lot of hurdles and tough times to be what it is today. Something like that.
Okay. On a very similar note, if you could replace one of the existing secretaries, who would you pick?
The simple answer goes for this as well. I mean, see, the point is, a person to become a secretary, it is not just about winning an election, it is not just about taking an oath officially, or it is not just about achieving a 3-month tenure. Today, I am not a perfect student. I am still learning. Because of this interview, I might learn something. Maybe I have made a course this interview, I might learn something. Okay, it's all about adding up a lot of experience that you can do every single day. So the ones who are adding it up every single day are actually becoming more efficient than yesterday. the more better version of them is being refined every single day, right? So I can't take in a new person and say that no, they can be a better secretary than the existing one. So yeah, they do have collected a lot of, they did collect a lot of experience so far. We have to respect it. Those life learnings can never be replaced in one night, right? So that's
Okay, this coming month, this month we have our college fest going on.
yes.
Petticoat, and there are still some inconsistencies and fund issues. As a student general secretary, how are you going to?
Yeah, I've been
what is your
supportive to the team since months, and I've been closely working with them. And I'm also possibly not dropping the best possible amount that I can from the local collaboration. Okay, recently we have a book vendor who's trying to put a book exhibition in the Leela campus. Yeah, so even that was a very good collab, and it is funding a decent amount to our practical. Okay, see, the point is we as young IT are still growing. Okay, so to get the reach like any other tier 1 or tier 2 IIT, we still need some time. So this will obviously be a hard time for us to pass. Okay, and also people always take this example of the first practical that happened post COVID, right? So the benefit, the edge that they had over other practicals was the SAC will surely give some funding from there and towards the Petrichor. Because of the COVID, the online Petrichor had no big expenditure just like other Petrichors. Okay, so that was carry forward to them, and they could organize it in a better way, right? And also everyone were trying to recover from the COVID era, right? So everyone were interested to come out, and everyone were interested to market their products or collab with us for any other stall. But now the situation is very different. So we have entered into the pre-COVID era, and now things are again normal to us, and we have to pass through this. Maybe 10 or 15 years down the line, everything will keep on improving, right? Every year we're trying to improve, right? So this will still improve, right? So the whole team is putting a lot of effort. The SAC people, the SAC secretaries get a lot of recognition, but Petrichor team does not. Okay, so but they have to also be aware something just like that, but they are not a body like SAC. So they have a huge respect from my end and from this accent. So we are always supportive, and we are still supporting them even today, and we'll be doing this for the next 1 week till the fest ends.
So fests or clubs or anything, it is all of some sort. Students like merches from the clubs,
Okay.
but in your tenure, the merch is banned. Why?
Okay, so this answer is a bit long. I request you to listen to give some proper attention to listen to this answer. Okay, so see, initially when one of the faculty advisors suggested that we are not gonna give any cash prizes or any merchandise to any winners or any club core team members. Okay, many of us felt a bit bad about it, and yeah, the whole council is working for something, and if they don't get something in return, then what is the plan, right? Like when few of my core team members, few of my secretaries said, even I felt it a valid reason, right? But I was trying to return it back to the same situation. But one day when I was having the lunch with our chairman, Professor Ramesh Venkateshwaran sir, in the mess, okay, he was saying something. A lot of budget that the taxpayers of this nation are contributing towards something is coming to IIT Palakkad, okay, for a rightful purpose. Okay, government can still compensate this to people who don't have electricity in their remote villages. Okay, people who don't have basic resources that we are still enjoying, the clothing that we're wearing, the basic salmon that we're wearing, the food that we're eating every day, the water that we're getting. Okay, but government is compromising over that and diverting that resources or that funding to an IIT, right? So every rupee that comes in here should be used for a rightful purpose. See, we are privileged to buy whatever we want. See, it is not a tougher job for us to buy a t-shirt which is around 300 or 400 rupees. Why do you expect that to come in in return in terms of a merch? Okay, yeah, I do understand that you have your name and designation on the back of it and you own some pride of it, but it is from the Gymkhana fund. It is from the fee that we're paying. It is from the funding that we're getting from the central government. It is a taxpayer's amount, and it's compensated with someone else suffering, right? They could have given it to something, but they're giving it for a rightful purpose. So we all have that responsibility of using it for a rightful purpose. So every rupee that we're using in this institute should always have this idea of like using it sustainably, using it in a right sphere or right. That is the reason why I was literally convinced. Okay, from that day I have even restricted it on inter-IITs. So inter-IIT restriction was my personal decision. So I just said that you're not going to get a hoodie and a t-shirt together. You're getting already food expense when you're traveling, that is 600 or 400 as per the number of hours you're traveling. And one hoodie or one t-shirt is fine. You need not get two like the last year. So this year that was my personal decision. So the intent of this, like for me to explain this always to every person that who will raise this, or 1356 students who would come up with this issue to me. It is really tough job, but there is a valid reason, a very, very genuine reason behind that. So I at least got an opportunity to say that out now. Okay, so that day when Ramesh Venkatesan sir was explaining that, I literally had tears, I literally had goosebumps. Okay, I just felt that what food that we're eating in us, that usually students complain, and even I do complain at times. We are privileged to eat at least that, right? There are people who are suffering without that in our nation. Forget about the whole world, in our own nation. Where we are privileged to have this, there are many others who are not. So, at least we have that we should have that social responsibility as an IIT, right?
That really puts things in a different perspective.
See, there's a lot that will be there behind a decision that cannot always be the only reason that we can put forth the students. Okay, so well, at times we have to face. I was facing criticism for this, but I knew what is the reason. I know what is the genuine concern that we have. Right. So, see, it is just about 400 rupees, and if you have a sack of sack members altogether in a 200 to 250, just 250 to 400. How much is it? Something like that. Huh?
8.
Yeah, 25 to 4. 1 lakh, right? 1 lakh can be used for something else. You can install 3 coffee vending machines with 1 lakh rupees. Okay, you can use it for any other long-term investment opportunities, right? It is going nowhere else. We are benefited maybe in a different way, right? So yeah, I will complain that students don't understand this. Yeah, even their concern is genuine, but we have still more concerning issue at this time. So we have to take the criticism and we have to balance what is right, and we have to take the decision what is right. Okay, so that is where administrators or leaders come, or bureaucrats come into the picture. Okay. A lot of the shit should be there, but there is something behind it, and that satisfaction will drive you to work.
Yeah. Is there anything else you think that's draining the institute's resources like this?
Yeah, electricity that we're focused currently.
Right.
Yeah, to a certain extent the hostels have sorted, but I we as the TFS committee have to work on clean campus committee, which is led by Dr. Johar and mentored by chairman, okay, Professor Ramesh Venkatesan. We are trying to bring in the best policies that we can. Okay, so now we are drafting the constitution and the policies on what our goal is for the next 10 years. Okay, so everything of that will concentrate on this and making our campus a better space to live in terms of hygiene, in terms of maintaining it like a world-class institute or university. Okay, so all of these efforts from different ends of the institute will passively contribute to the question that you asked. Right? And this will happen over a long phase. I mean, 10 years down the lane, IIT Palakkad today is not the IIT Palakkad the same after a decade. Right? So,
Ban club merchandise, you didn't regret that decision. But is there any decision you've taken as Gens like that you would like to undo?
Okay. Nothing. Actually nothing.
Okay.
No, because if I have something, it will always poke me inside my heart, and I'll always have it on the top of the stack that I should never have done that. I should never have done that. But if I could not recollect, I'm sure that there's nothing I have left behind and continuing with that.
So, did you ever misuse your power in that sense?
No. Clearly. The same flaw, like the same concept that I've explained in terms of what I've explained for the merchandise is applicable even for the saffrons that we get. Like people do claim that secretaries are corrupt. They just eat money from the losers that they can. How is that possible? We just operate on virtual money. And they say that Karthikeya, we are giving you 60 lakh. Just split it among your secretaries. My secretaries will fight on that virtual amount for 4 long days, which are named as budget sessions, which will go like just like the assembly and the assembly budget sessions, okay, or the assembly sessions that every state has. They fight a lot, okay, though they are a team, okay, and finally they fix on a virtual figure again, okay, and now when a bill comes in, your amount will be reimbursed to that vendor. Neither I am getting the money into my hand, neither my secretary is getting it. So the first thing that people would think if misuse of power is there in existence is this. That is not there in my see in front of me something is that's what is happening. I'll just report it then. So there were there was a history when I was not the general secretary, but I was the ethical secretary when I reported it to Sahyadri. Okay. So if I have done that back then, I'm very strict on that now. Misusing of power for my personal reasons, no, never. Uh, I never had the privilege of getting a good grades because of student. I mean, I've been taking up some courses in the 7th semester, but none of the faculty had taken this. What do you call? Considered this that this fellow is a student of the grade, so we have to give him a good grade. Nothing of that sort. So, no misuse of power from my end or from the admin's end so far. So it is just a delegated question that you have. And what do I get out of this? Just experience, personality development. I become a better person than yesterday. That is what all I get. And at the end of the day, I do have a lot of satisfaction. Just imagine, like you walk from a CAD block to your hostel alongside with your friend. Your friend always complains that I won't come with you the very next day because every other student takes hardly 10 minutes to walk from a CAD block to Malhar. But I take half an hour to 40 minutes. It's not just because of my walking speed, it's just because the number of people I have to meet on the way. It's just about waving at them. It's just about talking to some puppets regarding some activities or some events. Have a good social life and that is all what it adds up to your satisfaction at the end of the day. That's it.
Yeah. So this would not just be people talking to you or socializing with you, right? You would obviously have a large group of people complaining to you. For example, let's talk about the Zomato Gold membership mail that we received a while back. Everyone's waiting for the link.
Yeah, see, when that was broadcasted, surely there will be some, areas that administration would like to look into more clearly and check if that is okay to roll it out. Okay, so there is some process that is going at the back end and we are almost done. So now CET team is almost ready to send it out and within a week or two. By the end of the January, it is sure that will come. Okay, so that's it. From the dean, I got an approval. It is just the CET team who has to send it out.
Okay. Yeah, so student general secretary. What other than that? We would like to know what is Karthikeya's favorite hobby.
So a day without this schedule, okay, I'm just depressed.
So you totally incorporated it into the student.
See, a person will feel depressed when maybe he's upset with his friend, or maybe he had a breakup, he or she had a breakup, or maybe some tough time or a bad exam or something like that. But at times I call my friends and just say I have no work and I'm really upset. I feel very lonely. We'll go out somewhere. Okay, that is when I feel a bit pressed. Free. Okay. When I'm free, what will I do? I just freelance. Okay, just to serve, add up, sum up to something to my pocket money. Okay, and I also do travel. You know it for obvious reasons. And other hobbies to, if you have no work, create some work for yourself. Call it for a meeting with a team which you haven't met very recently and check what they're doing and just interact with them.
Yeah.
Okay, if you're still free, there are weird mails from me. I was going to Pan-IIT summit. Okay, I woke up early in the morning, at 3 a.m. in the train. I was in a different bogie. My secretaries were in a different bogie. So, coach. Okay. So I was just bored. I connected my phone hotspot to the laptop. Opened the mail. I drafted a mail. What will you do if you are a general secretary for one day?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah,
And the
yeah,
note
yeah,
of it
yeah.
is just like, I know the idea is too weird, but I'm just alone and I got this. Okay, and even Deepak sir replies to that saying that this was inspired from something. Yes, when you're free, people will look out for some hobby. I do have some engaging hobbies, but as of now, I still enjoy this. So, weirdest ideas roll out at that moment. All of our manifesto is drafted in the same way. It was carefully crafted. I mean, like every restaurant has a 50 to 60% on the food business. So why can't they call it a 10% discount to the students who are regular visitors? Okay, take care. This was also inspired from few other ideas. Then I was, it was her birthday. She threw a party on her birthday. We went to Heaven and later we just walked to Fruit Gather. And then and there I just spoke to that Fruit Gather manager and asked whether we can do this. He said, okay. And that day itself, on the birthday itself, we got that approved. And from that Fruit Gather and walks for the time out for our college. So
On a note, it's not my birthday.
it was tomorrow's birthday. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Since you brought up the email, I have to ask, like, how were the responses to that? What would you do if you were just like, would we see any of the
Some were
benefits?
constructive, some were, very lame, some were obviously, we can do some few of them. Some were, but some were very constructive, and I've considered few of them. Okay, I'm trying to work on how they can be taken care. Okay, so things like that will obviously improve transparency. I had this exclusive interaction with B23, not interaction, exclusive GBM with B24. Okay, so we have this campus gap, roughly 1.8 kilometers apart. But one fine day they said, after dinner I'll be there sitting in front of us. Anyone can come and talk to me. Anything, any doubt or any acknowledgement from my end can be given to you. You can come. So I have mailed it. I have went there with my academic secretary and we were sitting out there for 1.5. Like decent number of people have come and interacted with us. That is what I do something.
So, this question is to Karthikeya, not the student general secretary.
Okay. I like this differentiation a lot. Okay.
So,
Okay.
now, if plan B doesn't work out, would Karthikeya go for plan C?
What is plan B and plan C according to you? I mean, I know who gave this question to you.
Yeah, it is from a person.
I know who gave this question. But they are not aware what plan B and plan C is. Okay. Anyways, if there are decent number of viewers who are interested to listen to, if plan B doesn't work out, see, the majority of the time I won't, let any plan go in a way that it is not, working out there. Okay, so plan B will surely work out. If not plan B, then we'll see. Plan C is still an option, but it's not for sure that I'll opt for it. Okay, plan B will surely work out. Okay, if I'm aiming for something and if I'm doing it, I'll surely achieve that. Okay, so I have that strong intent towards that, strong motivation and strong dedication towards it. So it will work.
By this, we can see how rigid is Karthikeya towards his plans and decisions.
If I'm interested, I'm good. If I'm not, though I know that I'm verge of failing a course, I don't care. Just neglect it. Okay, and my friends, like the ones who are really close to me, like my best friend, she was always back of me in terms of academics. We are not doing this up to the mark. We have to learn this. She teaches me. She gives a mock presentation, a mock demo of the whole examination or any important points just before. But I will be the most negligent person ever if I'm not interested. Okay, if I'm interested in some course, though I was not doing good, I was the least mark holder in the mid. I got an A grade just because of my performance in the MSAT, and that took just 3 hours of preparation, nothing else. Okay, and the whole engineering drawing course was done in online, and my mother did it, not me. Okay, I didn't concentrate. Okay, mid she was not there, like none could help. End was in campus often. I got a call even from the faculty who took that course that you are the least mark holder of the whole continuous evaluation paper. And if you are doing the same in Nelson, you literally fail. But 3 hours, Ahilya Computer Lab ground floor, I don't know what motivated me. I was just into it, seeing every PPT for the very first time. 5 o'clock in the evening, I went just before dinner. I closed it, ate the dinner, slept. That was the only exam in the whole IIT Palakkad history where I have slept peacefully from 9 to morning 8, 7 or something. I wrote my exam full pro confidence. I came out, I was happy. I got A grade. A person who was on the verge to fail got an A grade because I secured the almost the second highest mark of the end sem examination. And it has a DC like 50 to 60% of weightage back. So, yeah, if I'm interested, I'll do it. If I'm not, I'm negligent. I'm lazy. Okay.
You say you're negligent, but because you're Gen Sec, right? Obviously, there'll be lots of expectations on you, both from faculty and maybe other people. So, how do you deal with that?
Yes, something like luckily, let me take the example of my dean students. Deepak sir. He knows what my career aspirations are. He knows what I'm much interested about. Okay, so though he's my faculty in the last course, I'll go for big data. Though he knows that I'm not doing things up to the par, I'm up to the mark like any other students were like doing decently enough. He always, motivated me with this fact that you know what to do, and you have realized after coming to BTech and what your career ahead should be, right? So like never feel bad that you didn't do your engineering well, okay. And even during the course, he was trying to be supportive from his end as far as he can. I mean, maybe the suggestions that he can give on how to understand something, or if I miss out classes, he was asking always me to attend the classes. In the initial days, like, well, I mean, like he did have expectations, but he also has the maturity of realizing what I am capable or I'm really capable enough or what I'm really good at, right? Okay, so after my parents, after my family, after my friends, okay, he's the first person who has understood me in and out, and he's always been supportive throughout this. Okay. He did have expectations, but he also realizes that he has that maturity that his interest also matters about all these expectations, which are just controlled, right?
So now, one last question, I guess, to
Okay.
wind this off. How would you describe yourself in one word?
One word. After this long interview, you expect me to give this in one word. So I always I like this quote. JE Advanced, what is JE Advanced? Give a quote about JE Advanced. Google answers, expect the unexpected. Right? Expect the unexpected. That is how JE Advanced works. The paper or the strategy of it. Maybe if a person is around me or if someone would like to get to know about me, you can just expect the unexpected from me. I mean, I do the weirdest shit that I wanted to do any single day. Okay, so that is it. I can't describe a lot in this short answer, but if you can give me a freedom to answer it in an 8-mark fashion, then I have a lot. Or else you people can answer a lot more. So that's it.
So, after some research, we got to know that Karthikeya, who doesn't write notes, but now as a student general secretary, always carries a diary.
I write notes in my schooling then.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So the research was way in depth. I can realize that now. Okay, so you are asking me about that diary that I carry. Yeah, so like interest drives you to do a lot beyond defined boundaries, right? So I literally have maintained every single day, every single meeting that is related to my GenSec activities. I have a count of the number of phone calls I do or I receive from people or outgoing or incoming to say it out louder on the day of when I retire. Okay, so everything is happening in the diary because that is a memory for me. That is a lot of life learning for me as an administrator, right? So yeah, like interest drives you to do many things. So that is beyond interest. That is beyond what do you call my work boundary. Yeah. You can do everything if you are too much into it. So I'm passionate about it. Still, I can do it out in an iPad, but I don't prefer that because that diary gives. And also, Professor Ramesh Manifesto, sir, he has appreciated me in a meeting when I was writing every minute thing, every micro detail in that. So, and then see, the very psychological fact about a human is like when you're appreciated. If someone says that this shirt is good, okay, you often feel that day a bit more energetic, and you often try to put this shirt on more and more. In the same way, when he has appreciated that, the chairman of IIT Palakkad, okay, the IIM Bangalore gold medalist, the first batch of IIM Bangalore, the fifth batch of IIT Bombay, that veteran appreciates you, then you'll still continue it with more and more interest and passion towards it, right? So that, yeah, but I never used to like this, write notes. Like, like listening to classes, like what else do you need? Back then in schooling, now it doesn't work in engineering, I know it for a fact.
Yeah, so evidently you are very particular about like writing things, like planning now. But you also mentioned how you sometimes take sudden, like you make sudden travel plans and go, you travel a lot, like on the spot you make a plans. So how exactly does that both come together? Like how do you be so impulsive and yet so meticulous in planning?
Okay, so I have this edge among the set of friends that I have in visualization or in 3D, especially in 3D visualization. So, like I'll help you out understand in more better way. So, can you understand or can you get a grip of the spots or the roads of any city just looking at the Google Maps? Proper understanding. No, right? Like none of my friends could do that. But if I could just look into Google Map and just point out the city, I don't know why, but I grab the city at a more better fashion than many of them. So the Chennai metro or any other metro is more complex system, but if I travel once in that, okay, I can just get a grasp of the whole metro map into my mind. So this knowledge, like this skill that I have to map things visual, like I won't put it on paper. I don't have any travel diary or something of that sort. But yeah, that helps me a lot to take this impulsive decisions of traveling. Okay, so I am a Google, what do you call it? Regular contributor to trust the reviews. So I do trust reviews of fellow travelers. So now I'll just go through that and find a food spot. And something like none of my friends or none of my family members didn't regret trying the newest food spot of any new city. Okay, so I took one of my friends to Chennai. We had this bamboo-based breakfast in Chennai. Okay, Chennai is a city where you get only the Chennai, Tamil Nadu-based breakfast. But that exclusive bamboo-based breakfast is a tiffin center where I have located on Google Map. My friend never regretted eating over there. She was extremely happy, right? Like going from IIT Palakkad till there just to eat that and enjoying the beach and coming back. And the same happened in Goa. Like everyone has this impression in my set of friends or in my family that if Karthikeya plans out something on food or travel, then that is the most efficient plan. And that was successful for the last n number of years. I hope it will just continue. Somehow it is working, and nature is helping me to, work it out in the best way it can. If it flops, then you will obviously have a backlash from the same set of people who are appreciating it.
So finally, if you would like to thank first people who supported you.
Yeah. So then it comes from the family, my father, my mother, and my sister, and the extended family, my grandparents, all the uncles and aunts, and then like before coming here, I have a good set of friends who have been making me like help me to discover what the world is. I mean, I've been in a residential school from 8th, so there is a very different perspective from a day scholar and a hostel, right? So I have learned a lot about the world because of them, and I took a 2-year break from my JEE preparation. I was just disconnected from the whole humanity. I was not interacting with anyone of them in my classes. Then coming to my BTech, I have a good set of friends, personally, professionally. Also have to thank Dean students. In my friends, yeah, my close circle, my best friends. Without them, these last 3 years would not have been possible. I mean, these 7 semesters and the 8th semester, maybe like I'll be missing out all of them from me. But we have to accept the fact and move on. We are just placed in different cities. But well, this happens in life. That's it. I miss my college, I miss my dean, I miss my friends, I miss Samuel sir, I miss my SAC and all of you. But I'll keep coming every monsoon to Palakkad just to enjoy around in Kawa. Okay, I have a favorite food spot where I eat fish which is fried then and there. Every monsoon I'm sure that I'll come here to recreate myself. Okay. That's it. I hope.
Okay.
These 2.5 months will surely give me a lot of memories as a general secretary, and one last month as Karthikeya, fourth year undergrad CSC at IIT Palakkad. Signing off.
So that is Karthikeya, General Secretary of IIT Palakkad, who works closely with the secretaries, who manages all student affairs, but who also loves traveling and exploring new food spots. Thank you so much for joining us today and for sharing your insights into many different topics. Thank you so much.
And thank you TFS for organizing this interview. I mean, the host as well as the backend team and the TFS club. I mean, this means a lot to me. I will surely consider this as a very big memory, towards the end of my college life as an amateur, as well as a journalist. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for more TFS videos.
Do like, share, and subscribe.